Hello everybody, it's me, Coach Noodles, and I'm in for another episode of the Python, starting out with Python series. And here we have the part number 17, I believe. I just uploaded in the beginning of the day. I uploaded part 16. I didn't do it throughout the week because I forgot. But now we are going with part 17, which we're still in the chapter 5, I believe. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into the um, chapter, okay? So, in the spotlight, Dr. Kimura teaches an introductory statistics class and has asked you to write a program that he can use in class to simulate the rolling of the dice. The program should randomly generate two numbers in the range of 1 through 6 and display them. In your interview with Dr. Kimura, you'll learn that he would like to use the program to simulate several rolls of the dice, one after the other. Here's a pseudocode for the program. Okay, all right. So let's do it. Go over here, and we actually have our program ready to use. So first of all, name of the program is called dice.py, and we have import the random constant for the minimum and maximum random numbers. Well, okay. Print huh? No, what am I doing? Stop this. R. Oh my gosh. I swear, guys, my fingers are dumber by the year. Oh, wait a minute. So we have here. Now let's start compiling it. So we write here Python m py compile, and we write here the file's name. I will write Python on the dice. Their values are 6 and 1. Okay. Yes. 1 and 2, 1 and 5, 4 and 1, 5 and 6, 2 and 3, and there you go, 1 and 6. That's cool, right? I tried to type no, but the D was no way. So as you can see, guys, that was basically how it is. The rand integer function returns an integer value, so you can write a call to the function anywhere that you can write an integer value. You have already seen examples where the function's return value is assigned to a variable and where the function's return value is sent to the print function. To further illustrate the point, here's a statement that uses the rand integer function in a math expression. X equals rand integer, parenthesis, 1 through 10 times 2. In this statement, a random number in the range of 1 through 10 is generated, then multiplied by 2. The result is a random even integer from 2 to 20 assigned to the x variable. You can also test the return value of the function with an if statement, as demonstrated in the following in the Spotlight section. So was so happy with the dice rolling simulator that you wrote for him. He has asked you to write one more program. He would like a program that he can use to simulate 10 coin tosses. Okay, one after the other. Each time the program simulates a coin toss, it should randomly display either heads or tails. Okay, let's do it. So go over here. We write the function echo, write chevron, create a program file name, program, I believe it's 20, pi, get out of there, press enter, we click here, right there, clear, good one. Name is coin toss.py. This program simulates 10 tosses of a coin. Okay. We import random. We're right here. Yes. Okay. There you go. Perfect. So we do, just to clear this out a little bit, we can go back with this function and just delete these two numbers and put the 21 over there. We can compile the other one. Now we just write here Python program 20. So we have tails, heads, 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 tails, 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 heads, heads, heads. Cool, isn't it? You can also put the other program of, doing it again and again and again from the previous one, I guess. I think you can. While, yeah, if it's all inside a while loop, I think you can. There's nothing that can stop you, right, guys? Anyway, the rand range, random, and uniform functions. The standard library's random module contains numerous functions for working with random numbers. In addition to the randint function, you might find the rand range random and uniform functions useful. To use any of these functions, you need to write import random at the top of your program. If you remember how to use the range function, which we discussed in chapter 4, then you will immediately be comfortable with the random range function. The random range function takes the same arguments as the range function. The difference is that the rand range function does not return a list of values. Instead, it returns a randomly selected value from a sequence of values. For example, the following statement assigns a random number in the range of 0 through 9 to the number variable. As an example, have number equals random.range 10. The argument in this case 10 specifies the ending limit of the sequence of values. The function will return a randomly selected number from the sequence of values 0 up to, but not including, the ending limit. The following statement specifies both a starting value and an ending limit for the sequence. When this statement executes, a random number in the range of 5 through 9 will be assigned to number. The following statement specifies a starting value and ending limit and a step value. Number equals random range 0, 101, 10. In this statement, the random range function returns a randomly selected value from the following sequence of numbers. That's an array. Both the rand integer and the rand range function returns an integer number. The random function, however, returns a random floating point number. You do not pass any arguments to the random function. When you call it, it returns a random floating point number in the range of 0.0 up to 1.0, but not including 1.0. Here's an example. Okay. The uniform function also returns a random floating point number, but allows you to specify the range of values to select from. Here's an example. In this statement, the uniform function returns a random floating point number in the range of 1.0 through 10.0 and assigns it to the number variable. Okay. Random number seeds. The numbers that are generated by the functions in the random module are not surely random. Although we commonly refer to them as random numbers, they are actually pseudo-random numbers that are calculated by a formula. The formula that generates random numbers has to be initialized with a value known as seed value. The seed value is used in the calculations that returns the next random number in the series. When the random module is imported, it retrieves the system time from the computer's internal clock and uses that as the seed value. The system time is an integer that represents the current date and time down to 100th of a second. In the same seed value were always used, the random number functions would always generate the same series of pseudo-random numbers. Because the system time changes every 100th of a second, it is a fairly safe bet that each time you import the random module, a different sequence of random numbers will be generated. However, there may be some applications in which you want to always generate the same sequence of random numbers. If that is the case, you can call the random seed function to specify a seed value. Here is an example. In this example, the value 10 is specified as the seed value. If a program calls a random seed function, passing the same value as an argument each time it runs, it will always produce the same sequence of pseudo-random numbers. To demonstrate, look at the following interactive sessions. Okay, cool. Okay. In line 1, we import the random module. In line 2, we call the random seed function, passing 10 as a seed value. In lines 3, 5, 7, and 9, we call random randint function to get a pseudo-random number in the range of 1 through 100. As you can see, the function gave us the number of 58, 53, 58, and 21. If we start a new interactive session and repeat these statements, we get the same sequence of pseudo-random numbers as shown here. Okay. So we have checkpoints. Ooh, massive checkpoint. So how does the value returning function differ from a function? Okay. So I'm gonna give you these checkpoints, guys. So let me see if I can maybe. I think that's the entirety of the checkpoints, guys. So you can get them, make a pause or make a screenshot out of it so you can do the checkpoint. We are going to advance to the next chapter, shall we? There you go. Writing your own value returning functions. Interesting. A value returning function has a return statement that returns a value back to the part of the program that called it. You write a value returning function in the same way that you write a void function, with one exception. A value returning function must have a return statement. Here is the general format of a value returning function definition in Python. Function name, statement, express. Okay. One of the statements in the function must be a return statement, which takes the following form: return expression. The value of the expression that follows the keyword return will be sent back to those part of the program that call the function. This can be any value, variable or expression that has a value. Here's a simple example of a value returning function. Okay. The purpose of this function is to accept two integer values as arguments and return their sum. Let's take a closer look at how it works. The first statement in the functions block assigns the value of number 1, number 2 to the results variable. Next, the return statement executes, which causes the function to end execution and sends the value referenced with the result variable back to the part of the program that called the function. Demonstrates the function. Okay, let's go to our third program, guys. Okay. So this program is called total ages pi. Sorry. First age. And I think that's supposed to be an error, right? Why that should be an error? Indented block by pylons. Where? Let's try that again. Okay. Right. Okay. I guess Pylons was trying to be cocky. see again. Display the range. Print together your total gosh. Okay, no errors as far as I can see. Therefore, we can go for Python py underscore compile. Right, it was no, it was before this. We need to compile. There we go. Your age. So let's see if, for example, my age is 25, which is not my real age, by the way. My best friend's age, which I don't have a best friend's age, but let's say it is 24, okay? Okay, you're 49. Wow, together we are old, I guess. Uh-huh. Yeah, almost there. In the main function, the program gets two values from the user and stores them in the first age and second age variables. The statement in line 11 calls a sum function, passing first age and second age as arguments. The value that is returned from the sum function is assigned to the total variable. In this case, the function will return 46. How the arguments are passed into the function and how a value is returned back from the function. Making the most of the return statements. Look again at the sum function presented in program 521. Notice two things happen inside this function. The value of the expression of number 1 plus number 2 is assigned to the result variable, and 2, the value of the result variable is returned. Although this function does what it sets out to do, it can be simplified because the return statement can return the value of an expression. You can eliminate the result variable and rewrite the function as sum number 1, number 2, return number 1 plus number 2. This version of the function does not store the value of number 1, number 2 in a variable. Instead, it takes advantage of the fact that the return statement can return the value of an expression. This version of the function does the same thing as the previous version, but in only one step. So how to use value returning functions? Value returning functions provide many of the same benefits as void functions. They simplify code, reduce duplication, enhance your ability to test code, increase the speed of development, and ease the facilitation of teamwork. Because value returning functions return a value, they can be useful in specific situations. For example, you can use a value returning function to prompt the user for input, and then it can return the value entered by the user. Suppose you have been asked to design a program that calculates the sale price of an item in a retail business. To do that, the program would need to get the item's regular price from the user. Here is a function you could define for that purpose. Regular price, price float, input, enter the item's regular price, return price. Then elsewhere in the program, you could call that function as shown here. Get the item's regular price, get regular price. When this statement executes, the get regular price function is called, which gets a value from the user and returns it. That value is then assigned to the regular price variable. You can also use functions to simplify complex mathematical expressions. For example, calculating the sale price of an item seems like it would be a simple task. To calculate the discount and subtract it from the regular price. In a program, however, a statement that performs these calculations is not that straightforward, as shown in the following example. Assign discount percentage is a global constant that is defined in the program, and it specifies a percentage of the discount. At a glance, this statement isn't easy to understand because it performs so many steps. It calculates the discount amount, subtracts that value from regular price, and assigns the result to sale price. You could simplify this statement by breaking out part of the math expression and placing it in a function. Here's a function named discount that accepts an item's price as an argument and returns the amount of the discount. You could then call the function in your calculation. This statement is easier to read than the one previously shown, and it is clearer that the discount is being subtracted from the regular price. Let's go. We are almost 30 minutes in, but we can do this one. So let's do our last exercise here, okay? So we go for echo pi, that's fine. So we go for pi, go. So the name is sale price. Pi. What the heck are you doing? This program calculates a retail items sale price. Okay. Discount percentage is used as a global constant for the discount percentage. Price right here, display sale price, print price is, oh no, sorry. Okay. Items order price. How about if he's like, I don't know, 89.99. Oh fuck. Ah, excuse me. Sorry. It has to be a. Come on. Really? 29. Huh? Oh, wait a minute. There's an error here. Hold on a minute, guys. Line 35. Oh, there's one here. Line 18 in May. What's wrong with it? Value error in bold format specifier for object of type float. Oh, really? What do you mean? Sell price. All right, guys, let me go. Let's see what I can do here in order to not waste so much time. I'm gonna find a solution of this. All right, people, I did it. Basically, I forgot you can have a space in between these. This will throw an error. Basically, shouldn't be a space over there. So when you do this, so enter the item for their price, it's going to be 89.99, for example. So the sale price is going to be 71.99 after the 20% discount. And with that being said, guys, 35 minutes, we are going old school over here, and I love it. Thank you very much, guys, for your support. Please click like and subscribe. It would help the channel to grow. I really want to be one of the guys who talk to you about all of these, about technology, programming, and news about that as well. So please, guys, come along, and be comfortable here, okay? Ask me something. If you guys want something else, please ask me. I'm begging you to ask me something. Be proactive in the channel if you have any questions or something. So next time it's gonna be Unity for the first time in the channel, and let's see how that goes. Okay, thank you very much, guys, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.